Where is the mic? Where is the mic? At one point she yelled, give me a mic, and they didn't give it to her.
Prince Harry stood tall, trying so hard to look composed, delivering what was clearly a well-rehearsed, carefully polished speech.
There's this guy with the purple jacket is trying to block her from going on stage.
Woof! You could feel the weight of the moment, every sentence measured, every pause deliberate, every gesture calculated to keep the spotlight on him, and let me tell you, every single person in that room had their eyes glued to him, not a single cough, not a whisper. The air was thick with formality. It was serious, respectful, almost sacred, like nobody dared interrupt.
And she goes around him, she even ignores him.
Wow.
She ignores the guy.
Again, I have to be careful what I say.
Then, bam! Out of nowhere, Meghan Markle storms onto the stage. No announcement, no signal, no polite invitation. Just struts right up there like she owns the place. The entire audience froze. Not a breath, not a sound. You could literally feel the shock ripple through the room.
Now, Harry has full control of the mic. When Meghan walked on stage, she could have said, oh, here's my wife, and hand over the microphone. Did he do it? No.
Harry? Oh, his body told the whole story. He stiffened instantly. His jaw tightened. He turned his head just slightly, enough to acknowledge her presence, but no. He didn't offer her the microphone. This time, he kept it firmly in his hand. The audience, silent.
The guy right behind Harry, the same guy that rejected to give her the mic last year, is looking at her and he doesn't care.
Stunned. Everyone knew right then and there. This wasn't some royal fairy tale moment. This was a live, unscripted clash between the Duke and Duchess. And trust me, no royal press release in the world was ever going to admit what actually went down. Remember how for years the story was always the same? Harry handing Meghan the stage, stepping aside so she could shine, always playing the supportive husband? Well, not tonight.
Curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
It's really quite...
Oh no, tonight the script got flipped. Meghan expected applause. She expected at least polite claps, admiration, maybe a cheer. What she got instead? Nothing. Just an ice-cold silence so heavy it cut through the room like a knife. And that wasn't even the worst part. Because what happened on that stage, that was just the beginning. That awkward silence, that was just the spark. What followed was humiliation.
You keep saying Meghan Markle, you know I'm Sussex now.
I like working hard.
Manipulation, whispers of betrayal, and it didn't end when Meghan walked off. No, the fallout carried on long after the lights went dim. Insiders are whispering, and if you thought that silence was brutal, wait until you hear the behind-the-scenes chaos. Trust me, this was the clearest crack yet in Harry and Meghan's glossy, carefully crafted image. So let me ask you, what do you think? Was Harry refusing to give Meghan the mic his way of finally pushing back? Drop your thoughts, because the internet is already on fire with that very question. Now let's break it down. Harry was mid-speech, calm, collected, on track. Then Meghan made her move. She stepped up with her trademark confidence, the kind of confidence that usually demanded admiration. But not this time. The room didn't light up, it froze. Even Harry's face, just watch closely. You can see it. His eyes narrowed for a split second. His whole body stiffened. Meghan placed her hand on his back, the same old signal she's used countless times before. Hand me the mic. But this time, Harry's hand gripped tighter. He straightened his spine, and instead of surrendering, he powered through, his voice steady. That one small refusal, so easy to miss if you weren't paying attention, hit like a bolt of lightning. It wasn't just defiance. It was a shift in their entire dynamic. Right there, under the burning glare of cameras, the mood flipped. What should have been a seamless, polished moment suddenly felt like a couple's argument unraveling in front of thousands. Meghan plastered on her trademark smile, trying to save face. Her hand lingered, but Harry refused to cave. He kept his focus on the audience like she wasn't even there. And that's when the energy in the room hit rock bottom. Silence. Not applause, not even polite murmurs. Just nothing. It was excruciating. Meghan's smile looked glued on, waiting for someone, anyone, to break the tension. Seconds dragged like hours. The longer it lasted, the heavier it got. And Harry? He stayed locked on his speech, determined not to budge. Meghan lingered, clearly expecting acknowledgement. A nod, something, but no one moved, no one clapped, no one saved her. The worst part? The crowd wasn't even hostile. It was worse. They were indifferent. And in the royal world, indifference is the cruelest slap in the face. Finally, Meghan shifted her weight, her smile faltering, her body retreating. Step by step, she walked back toward the sidelines, and every step looked like a loss. A concession. The audience had chosen its side, and it wasn't hers. Witnesses said the room felt ice cold. Everyone could sense something had gone terribly wrong, but nobody dared move. Meghan's exit, completely unplanned, and everyone in that room knew it. But here's the kicker. Her humiliation on stage wasn't even the end. Oh no, by the very next morning, the unedited footage had mysteriously vanished from mainstream coverage. Instead, glossy still shots everywhere. Meghan smiling confidently, Harry standing proudly at her side. To the casual eye, nothing unusual. The tension erased. The silence scrubbed out. The rejection, completely invisible. But social media doesn't lie. Within hours, raw, uncut clips surfaced online. Meghan stepping up, the frozen crowd, Harry's firm grip on that mic, and the internet went wild. Millions of views, endless debates. Suddenly, the world was seeing two completely different realities. Mainstream TV showed harmony, social feeds showed discord, and this wasn't just sloppy editing, this was deliberate. The media wasn't just softening Meghan's humiliation, they were flipping the story upside down. Critics accused outlets of shielding her reputation. Supporters claimed the silence was being exaggerated. But at the end of the day, the truth was undeniable. There were two stories out there, and only one of them was real. For years, Harry was the man who bent over backward to give Meghan the spotlight. He stepped aside time and time again, letting her shine. But that moment, his refusal to hand her the mic, changed everything. It wasn't just a small gesture. It was Harry drawing a line in front of thousands, a boundary, a spark of resistance, and the world noticed. And let's not forget the context here. Harry's position is already a strange one. Officially, he's stripped of royal duties and certain titles. Yet at international events, he's still introduced with royal reverence, as though nothing has changed. It's a limbo, a confusing gray zone. He's not fully in, but not fully out either. And Meghan, every time she stands next to him in these half-royal, half-celebrity appearances, it looks like she's clawing for relevance in a world that isn't sure it wants her. And here's the kicker. This murky status isn't an accident. Buckingham Palace knows exactly what they're doing. By keeping Harry's role blurry, they dangle recognition when it benefits them, and yank it away when it doesn't. It keeps the suspense alive. It keeps headlines running, and it guarantees that Harry and Meghan stay part of the royal soap opera whether they like it or not. So when Harry publicly resisted Meghan in that instant, it wasn't just awkward, it was explosive. Was he choosing the crown over his wife, or was he just exhausted from always being overshadowed? Either way, the cracks in their fairy tale image were no longer hidden. Behind the glossy pictures and polite smiles, the real battles aren't about microphones, they're about family. And insiders say Harry's biggest fight with Meghan isn't even about public image. It's about their children. Yes, you heard me right. The kids are at the center of this tug of war. Sources close to the couple say Harry desperately wants his children to experience the traditions he grew up with. He's even spoken of Eton, that elite British school generations of royals have attended. He pictures Archie walking the same halls he once did. To Harry, it's not just about education. It's about heritage, identity, and staying connected to the life he left behind. But Meghan? She's not having it. She wants the kids raised in California, in her world, far away from the rigid royal bubble. And here's where it gets spicy. Insiders whisper that Meghan has shut down all conversations about UK schooling unless, as one put it, appropriate concessions are made. Think finances, think security, think control. It sounds less like compromise and more like leverage. And that, my friends, has become the symbol of their relationship. Meghan steering the ship, Harry quietly frustrated, caught between his longing for tradition and his wife's iron grip on independence. Friends say he feels cornered, suffocated even, while Meghan digs her heels in. The children, whether they know it or not, are pawns in a battle between loyalty to the crown and freedom from it. So while the audience that night only saw a microphone snub, those close to Harry and Meghan swear the real fight is playing out behind closed doors. Meghan's bold stage move? That was just Act 1. What came next was even harsher. Event organizers quietly shifted her role for the rest of the evening. Instead of her usual front and center spotlight, Meghan was escorted to a side seat. Not too far away to be invisible, but far enough to show everyone she wasn't leading. A subtle demotion, a symbolic downgrade, and everyone noticed. Her dazzling gown, designed to wow, suddenly looked ill-fitted under the harsh lights. Commentators online called her smile strained. Her posture looked stiff, forced. And while Harry mingled with guests, Meghan sat on the sidelines, clapping at the right times but barely acknowledged by anyone around her. For someone used to commanding attention, it was a devastating humiliation. And the critics had a field day. They dissected every detail. Her laugh that seemed forced, her jewelry catching the camera awkwardly, her body language screaming discomfort. Supporters brushed it off as a minor oversight, but witnesses knew better. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. For the first time, Meghan wasn't just ignored, she was sidelined. And no matter how hard she tried to mask it, everyone could see. And here's the scariest thought. If it looked this raw and tense in front of cameras, what do you think is happening behind palace walls? Because this wasn't just a one-off awkward moment. This was a turning point, a shift in power. And if insiders are right, the next chapter is even more shocking. Harry refusing Meghan wasn't just defiance. It was him finally saying, enough. It was a husband who has always bent to his wife's ambitions suddenly drawing a line. And And insiders say Meghan didn't take that lightly. Behind the scenes, whispers spread fast. Arguments, accusations, cold silences. Event staff noticed it, guests whispered about it. This wasn't a small tiff. This was the beginning of something bigger and potentially irreversible. But the palace? Oh, they were thrilled. For them, this was gold. The clash fueled speculation. Was Harry drifting back toward the crown? Was he tiring of being cast as Meghan's shadow? For Buckingham, it didn't matter which side the public chose. What mattered was that Harry and Meghan remained headline material. And here's where it gets even darker. People close to the couple claim Meghan has been struggling with this shift. That evening, as Harry mingled, smiling stiffly, Meghan's smile was fading. Her laughter felt forced, her eyes scanning the room as though searching for support that never came. One observer described her as a star dimming under harsh light. Meanwhile, Harry looked determined, calm, focused, carrying himself with a posture that screamed one thing: I'm not backing down. That dynamic in public told the world everything. For the first time since stepping away from the royal family, Meghan wasn't in control. And Harry? He seemed okay with that. And if that wasn't enough, here's where the story twists again. Because according to insiders, the real humiliation for Meghan wasn't just the silence or being sidelined that night. It was what came after. Mainstream media scrubbed her embarrassment clean. Yes, but the internet never forgets. Those raw clips went viral, and the public started questioning everything. If they lied about this, how many other moments have been rewritten? And that question is deadly, because once the illusion cracks, it doesn't stop.